Hi folks, it's Sobron here, and I'd just like to grab your attention for a while to discuss the new version of the Dungeon intro clip. A lot of you have thoroughly enjoyed it, and understandably so. Many of you have utterly despised it, and for that I'm exceptionally proud to be such a divisive bastard and to create conflict. It has had some great accolades and also some soul-destroying critics. Whatever your feelings are, please keep them coming, as I appreciate your opinions and critiques. To receive a detailed analysis and assessment of my work, especially a literary, philosophical or artistic reply, is empowering indeed. Let's start off with Errol, and I'd like to thank him for his input. Errol writes, "Whomever created this should probably be institutionalized." Well, Errol, just remember whomever is an objective pronoun used as the object of sentences, clauses and phrases, as in address this letter to whomever you want. Whoever would be a better choice here, as whoever is a subjective pronoun, often acting as the subject of a sentence or clause, as in whoever reads this will be able to understand it. Errol should have also added an exclamation mark to the end of his sentence, and I can forgive him for spelling institutionalized with a Z or a Z because he's probably American. Alas, I digress. Now, let's discuss some of the content and how this amalgamation of perceived horror relates to the aesthetics of the Archieverse. The opening scene is that of a 1970s era PAL television test transmission pattern. As we all know, Archie is a devoted fan of cheesy television shows from the 1970s, and this image pays homage to his childhood television addiction. He would watch this image for hours at the station close, dreaming of becoming a star of the small screen one day. As we move forward to the opening of scene 2, you can catch a glimpse of signage on the doors. It reads, "Emergency Room." Emergency room is always referred to with the acronym ER. This, of course, is a tribute to ER herself. To those of you who are not aware of ER, I suggest you are not a devoted disciple of the chain. She is the mysterious yet generous patron saint of ArchieLuxury. In scene 3, we are welcomed by album portraits of the dungeon regulars, and this needs no further explanation. Of course, if you aren't familiar with the dungeon regulars, we have Sirocco, Suckdahorn, the Reverend Plastic himself. And now we're going over to the next page where we see a very rare photograph of Archie with his twin brother, as well as other dungeon regulars. Of course, scene 4 introduces us to Opataj Plachtha, a beloved 70s-era children's TV character from former Yugoslavia. His name translates to Nosy Blanket, giving comfort to children during the times of civil conflict. He is an effervescent character with strong ties and bonds to Slavic children during those turbulent times, with obvious roots to the formative years of both Bear and Archie. Scene 5 brings us to the rodent culling. This is quite a disturbing scene. Screen comedy legends Laurel and Hardy gave us this clip from Babes in Toyland, dating back to 1934. Veteran Archie viewers would be acutely aware of his monumental battles with nemesis rodents numbered 1 and 2. Scene 6 borrows a sympathetic character of Pinhead, played by Schlitzie from Tom Browning's 1932 pre-code horror film Freaks. Of course, if you are here, just like me, we are all watch freaks and are untroubled how we look and appear to the outside world. Scene 7 is that of a greedy pig. This image galvanizes a vignette of Archie's protégés as the master's apprentices forget their etiquette and greedily force their snout into the super chat trough washed down with a swill of Google ads. A porcine delight to behold if I have ever seen one. Scene 8 reacquaints us once again with a BBC children's TV character, Mr. Nosy Bonk, and he's from Jigsaw. This crystallises a proboscis symmetry and a childlike friendship with UK viewers who hosted AC3's time at the London Watch Show, and is also a compassionate call out to the kind folk that made Archie's airport experience so memorable for us all. Examining scene 9 closely, we see a very fond salute to both dungeon and mainstream regulars. Of course, Archie fondly retires to bed whilst he's still co-hosting the dungeon or is waking up in his international hotel room. As he continues to stream in his birthday suit, roommates and viewers are often treated to a regular bedsheet malfunction and homoerotic glimpses of generous man boob and belly bearing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, we love gay men on this channel. Now with scene 10, this is a literal, living reference to Archie's most regular and favoured gastronomic haunt, the Vietnamese restaurant at Anala Plaza. This shows a plate with a live eel biting back at the chopsticks. A brutal imagery here is a warning to all and sundry not to steal food from the pontiff's plate, as the consequences will be dire and terrifying. In scene 11, here we observe the Art Deco Moon eating innocent humans. This is a warning to all of us for being up so late in the wee small hours of the morning, as we are consumed by the addiction of the tubes. Here in scene 12, we see imagery that represents the enormous smile that is always transfixed upon Archie's face towards the end of the month when his Google revenue check is received. Serendipitously, it only grows larger and larger as the US dollar grows stronger and stronger against the Aussie dollary-do. It is also to be witnessed at the helm of his beloved BMW. Unlucky for some, scene 13 is very much a 1922 love letter to Archie's long-time veteran collaborator and Thailand-loving Aussie mate, the channel godfather himself, the Suckerhorn. Gothic character Nosferatu was an unauthorized German expressionist film. Just like John once thought he was lost, but he was always with us. Scene 14 is from Salvador Dali's surrealistic 1929 movie Un Chien Andalou. This is the most unique, yet also a simple tribute. Nothing makes sense, yet it's disturbing to watch. But like a car accident, you can't tear your eyes away from it. Also, beware of Archie's razor-sharp satire. Scene 15. The Victorian images are complex yet thrilling to explain and also attempt to analyse. In essence, the subjects are juxtaposed and engorged with Halloween-like smiles. This represents the Victorians' fascination for the numerical medium of photography. Everyone is both excited yet terrified, just like being on the AC3 YouTube show for the very first time and having your soul read whilst being torn apart and disemboweled by the filthy punters in the chat room. Scene 16. Here we have a long-forgotten clip from a 1953 Dr. Seuss family film. Another challenging vision, but not insurmountable to unravel. Dr. Seuss was an author. His books encouraged children to read with witty rhyme and surrealist illustrations. Sadly, Oxley State High never had the budget to stock these learning tools, but the rhyming legacy lives on with Archie's 4 Floors of Whores. Scene 17. The Fiji Mermaid was a sideshow that belonged to the world's greatest showman, P.T. Barnum, and draws parallel lines with the world's greatest watch guru, AC3. Barnum was a famous entertainer that kept them coming back for more. Oh, also memorable for the following line, "There's a sucker born every minute." AC3 backs this up to this very day. Scene 18 is a triumph and a feast for the eyes, played by ArchieLuxury himself. This is a character from an amusement house who goes by the real name of Rectal Trauma. Our pontiff frequently tells us that we will be anally raped if we buy an overpriced independent wristwatch. Scene 19 pays lip service to Archie and acquaints us with the ever-present yet often hidden ventriloquists who are always putting words in Archie's mouth and pulling his strings. A double-edged sword here that cuts both ways as our big boy frequently speaks of a good fisting. And finally, after 10 years, the toughest critic in the Archieverse, Discount, has finally given the channel a thumbs up.
Fucking hell!